Hello. Today I would like to share with you a few thoughts and initial results from my research, which concern the influence of mobile media on digital placemaking practices. I would like to shortly summarize the theoretical background of my research. As a human geographer, I couldn't ignore the significant influence of digital technologies on geography. They are changing the meaning of traditional geographical concepts like place, space, and as Agnieszka Leszczyński points out, they generate new forms of spatialities. As Helegua mentioned, the information mediated through mobile media affects knowledge about place, purpose of movement, and sense of placing oneself in space. So, contemporary places could be treated as an amalgam of digital content, physical objects, location, and people, while spatiality could be considered in the context of mediation by digital media. The subject of my research are mobile media as a nexus of digital and spatial practices. I would like to determine the forms of digital placemaking practices, the influence of mobile media on experiencing of digital or material places, and determine the influence of digital content on imaginations about place and behaviors in places. I have developed a research strategy based on the grounded theory approach and methodological triangulation. Today, I will share some results from one of the three research methods I used. I conducted 14 go-along interviews with mobile media usage. During the interview, participants were asked to share their smartphone screen and complete few tasks related to their personal strategies of searching and navigating through places. So, the most of interviewed participants pointed out that the smartphone has become an integral part of their life, affecting almost every aspect of it, from everyday practices related to shopping, day planning, and banking, to using it for business reasons. As an important form of using the smartphone is navigating in unknown spaces. But it's not the only way to use them. Thanks to access to the internet and various applications, user can receive immediate and direct information about the particular places. Moreover, participants mentioned that smartphone helped them to place oneself in space and determine their location in relation to the surroundings. We build our expectation and imaginations about a place and about potential activities in a place based on how it is presented on the internet. We become not only the recipient of digital content, but also an element of the experience of these places. The context of the pandemic also proved to be important. Firstly, the participants pointed to the growing need to visit places which are currently inaccessible to them due to pandemic reasons, which creating the phenomenon of virtual travel, which take place in many ways through street view, browsing unknown cities and places on Google Maps, etc. Based on recordings from the smartphone screen, I've identified three strategies of searching places. In each case, participants searching a new restaurant in Amsterdam. First one started from standard query. As you can see, the participants use Google Maps to search restaurant in a particular area. Query outcomes show only few searching results in the city center. The next stage of searching was the filtration only that outcomes with average rating on 4.5. Interesting places was explored in the terms of opinions, images, comments, and basic informations. Second one similarly started with typing standard query in Google Maps, but then participants started to manually looking for city center or interesting public spaces and looking for places around the nearest area. This way of searching allowed to a more detailed examination of a small area. Thanks to it, Google Maps algorithm couldn't hide any places. First strategy shows us the participant looking for places using only web browser. Participants using this way of searching tried to compare few ranking lists of restaurants from different browsers and applications. After the place selection process, the participants check its location at Google Maps. To summarize, the participants usually use the Google Map application when they search for new places to spend time. So our functioning in virtual space, despite the possibility of reaching a lot of information and data, actually works within the mechanism of a given application or internet platform. The content and information provided about places is personalized by those mechanisms, so we act within the limited possibilities. Then the question arises whether certain decisions have not already been made for us. In further study, I would like to deeply explore the power of Google Maps in indirect steering on decision about travel destination. Certainly, mobile media generates new form of practices and transform the existing one, being still an interesting research object for geographers. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to contact with me.